Hey, Mark, we were talking about this game. Obviously, it did not go the Seahawks' way. It was a dreadful day for Sam Darnold, 4 interceptions. Yet we were talking about how to view this game coming out of it. They were within a field goal of winning this game, despite the fact Darnold played as bad a game as maybe he's played in years. Gave them 4 opportunities on the Seahawks side of the field and starting drives at the 3-yard line, the 25, the 35. I mean, they gave them every opportunity on their home field, and they were still in a position to win this at the end of the game on the final play of the game. Does that tell you more about the Seahawks or the Rams?
More about the Seahawks. I was thoroughly like, hey, listen, man, you turn it over 4 times like that, you throw 4 interceptions, you give a team a short field 4 times, and you ought to lose by 21 points. And the fact that the Rams only put up 21, I think they had 12 first downs, and that was a dominant performance by a dominant defense once again. And listen, that's one of those you walk away from and you look at Sam Darnold and say, hey, dude, like, you don't have to prove anything to us. Like, if you just protect the football, we win that game. You don't want to throw it 44, 45 times. And I understand you got behind, you had to. But if they're just more efficient in the red zone and Sam doesn't turn the ball over, you probably walk out of SoFi and you win by double digits. Like, I walked away from that game going, wow, 4 turnovers and you only lost like that. And listen, I know there are no moral victories. I get that. But there are some losses that you walk away from going, we're a damn good football team and we can learn a lot from this. And from Sam's, I look at Sam and I go, he came into a situation with the Jets, then went to Carolina, then went to, the rehab year at San Francisco. And then all of a sudden he has a great year at Minnesota, but they decide to go with, Cap Black instead. And so, there's a lot of disappointment along the way. You don't got anything to prove. Like, you don't. You have earned it. You are really playing great football. You just got to clean up those mistakes, and you don't have anything to prove to your organization. I think that's the takeaway for me, is that you guys, even at 7-3 right now with a loss to the Rams, you guys are in control of your own quote unquote destiny when it comes to winning this division.
You got a pretty awesome painting going in the background there, Mark, over your right shoulder.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is the sun's going down here in Denver, Colorado?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at that painting. Looks like something you would have done.
Yeah. Well, we don't have any. We were selling our house, so we took down all the window treatments, and now we just got exposed windows all over the place. So,
Are you moving out of state?
No, you know what? This is when I was in New York before I got fired. Thanks, Bob, for bringing it up. So, I put the house on the market and went to New York. Thought, hey, man, I got a new TV show. And then they called me up and said, hey, by the way, you no longer work here. So, I had to come sulking back to my house in Colorado. And, woe was me. I lost my job.
Yeah, well, you've got a lot of jobs. You're just fine. But
thanks for bringing up that painful memory.
I didn't know the two were associated. I didn't know what was going on. My bad.
Hey,
that's all good.
Bob and I were just going through the NFC and just looking around at some of these teams, and we'll get to the Titans later because it's Mike Lefko, our producer's favorite team. He loves them and champions them always. No, he actually criticizes them. But when you look at the NFC, Mark, you look at that side. I was looking at it kind of going, maybe the Niners, but I look at the Rams and the Eagles and the Seahawks, and that's kind of maybe I'm leaving Detroit out. Record not great, and the 49ers a little bit. But who do you think are the for real teams in the NFC?
Yeah, I think the 3 teams that you mentioned, Philadelphia has not played stellar offensively, and they seem to have some issues with their wide receiver, essentially coming out and saying it's not about wins, it's about me getting stats. And so
terrible,
and that feels like there's a certain amount of dysfunction there, but they're still winning. Holding the Detroit Lions to nine total points. And I know it was a windstorm and everything like that. So, but I still look at those 3 teams that you mentioned. Philadelphia, I still think the Rams are really good. Although what the Seahawks did last night, I think was very impressive. So I think those are the 3 best teams right now in the NFC. I put a notch below that. I'll take Detroit. I'll put them in there. But man, I tell you what, they defensively, man, they're impressive, and they come at you in waves, and they create pressures, and they do a great job of running games up front and all those things. And they've had some injury issues on the back end. Once hopefully they get completely healthy. I still think that the San Francisco 49ers are a notch below them as well. Um, but this is going to be a great race, final 7, 8 games of the season, whatever it is.
Is there a dominant team in this league? I know there is record-wise. Dave and I were just talking about it across the board, both conferences. I mean, you got two teams that have won 8 in a row, the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots, and they're both sitting there at 9-2. So record-wise, they're the best in the league, but they look beatable. Everybody looks beatable. There doesn't seem to be that one team you look at and go, man, I don't know who beats these guys. It just feels like a year where there's a lot of parity.
Yeah, I mean, if parity is what you want, it's what you got. There's no question about it. And I think you look at New England right now, what they've been able to do. I still don't think they've given up a running back over 50, 60 yards rushing. I mean, they have really been stellar when it comes to defending the run, what they do on the defensive side of the ball. And then, I mean, it's just the Drake May show. He's been great pushing the ball down the football field, creating explosive plays. And you can say whatever you want about Josh McDaniels as a head coach, but as an offensive coordinator, that guy is great. So I think New England, to me, has probably been the most consistent in regards to what they do defensively, their philosophy, and being able to create big plays on the offensive side of the ball. Hey, listen, going into the game going into the game Sunday for Denver. I mean, we were criticizing Denver. The national media was criticizing, but locally here, we were criticizing how bad and how putrid their offense has been. Um, minus, Dallas doesn't really count because they give up, big plays like it's their job. And Cincinnati's a mess. So I don't really like those two offensive explosions against two really bad teams. But other than that, they were really bad offensively, minus a couple of fourth quarters where they were extraordinary. And so there was a lot of criticism. And to see them come right out of the gate on Sunday, you'll give up a sack the first play of the game and then put a 14-play field goal drive together. And what they did against a really good defense in Kansas City, I thought it was amazing. And I thought, if their offense can continue to grow off this and gain some confidence off of this, then I could see Denver with that defense becoming, the best team in the AFC or one of the best teams in the NFL right now. And then, ultimately, and I talked about this on the Stinking Truth podcast, and I'd like to get your guys' opinion. Like, now that I see, Kansas City falling to 5-5, do you think they can hold off the Raiders for last place? Man, I love the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are pissing down their legs. It makes me so happy. I hope they lose every game. Every single game. I hope they lose.
How's the fan base handling on social media? Probably not well, I'm guessing.
Oh man, they're very mad at me right now. The Kansas City fans are. You put Vaseline on your jersey. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been killing them. It's been great. It's been a great 24 hours. It really has.
Man, if you ever did a game there, you would have to have a security detail. There's no question about it. Man.
Oh no, I think they love me. You know what? Sure. They just love to hate me. But ultimately, like I said, man, I'm a gracious loser, but I'm an absolute jerk when it comes to winning. Yeah. Hey, so I let all of Kansas City know. All of them.
By the way, we have a texter who said Daniel Schlereth played with the Travelers and Rainiers in 2018. Is that?
Well, there you go.
So, all right. And our texters are never wrong if you ask them. They're never wrong. So
yeah,
I'll go with them on
Travelers,
that.
Huh? How do I not have a Traveler hat? You think I'd have one of them?
Yeah. You have a hat from every stop he made?
No.
Oh,
no, not really.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, at the end, it just got to the point where he was bouncing around from team to team to team. I was just like, I can't even keep up.
Yeah.
As I, as you figured out here, as soon as we opened up this show.
Hey, Mark, you did the Titans. Who'd the Titans play again? Haven't quite got into that. Okay, yeah. We played that team. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
What about the
it
Titans?
was I told them going into it. I told my crew, they're like, "What do you think about the game?" I go, "Hey, listen, the Titans play really stellar defense for a while, and then they get worn out because their team is just three and out, three and out, three and out." And I said, "So it's going to be, I guarantee it'll be a one-score game going into the third quarter." And I was right. I just didn't realize there was only going to be one score. It was 3-0. And so that part I didn't have down, but I knew it was going to be a one-score game. So yeah, I mean, both teams are very challenged offensively. The Tennessee Titans, I do think they've got a pretty decent defense. I think Cam Ward was, pretty exciting. He's just a raw kid, and he's got a lot of learning to do. But I tell you what, the Houston Texans defense is legit. All three levels of that defense, man, they can play, and so. They've got a big time defense, but I just don't think they have enough offense to challenge the Indianapolis Colts for that division crown.
What'd you make of Brock Purdy's return? I mean, he didn't put up huge numbers, but he was efficient. 19 of 26, just 200 yards, but 3 touchdowns and no picks.
Yeah, very efficient. The other thing he brings to you, and I did a bunch of a bunch of San Francisco radio stations last week because there were a lot of people out there going, "Hey, Mac Jones is playing great, leave him in." And I was like, "Nah, Brock Purdy's a better player." The thing that he does for you is he can extend some plays. He's so much more athletically gifted than people realize. So he can scramble around a little bit, buy a little bit of time. He's deadly accurate. He makes really quick, fast decisions based on what he sees. I think that's a big shot in the arm for them as they're waiting for guys to get healthy, waiting for some of their receivers to return and things of that nature. So I thought that was a shot in the arm for them. I still, question. They've had so many injuries. Can you overcome those things? The good news about injuries, though, depending on how and who you get back and how they are when they come back, you get a lot of experience from some young players that you weren't expecting to get a lot of experience from. So like that part is beneficial, but I thought it was a good move for them to bring Brock back, and I thought he played well.
Hey, Mark, we a lot of times will compare offensive line to a starting rotation in baseball, and for the Mariners this year, it was like there was lots of ones and twos, and
Mhm.
but it's pretty rare for a team to have 1 through 5 and that are just absolutely solid. And the same thing with offensive line, right? I mean,
Yeah.
but what's the cutoff? Like if you have 3 guys or, what can you get by with? I know you had Hall of Famer Gary Zimmerman. I think you had Tom Nalen, Brian
Yeah.
Habib. I mean, you guys were pretty solid, probably had all 5, but
So Mark was the weak link. Is that what you're saying?
no, I said he was part of he
Okay.
was a starter,
Mhm.
no
Okay.
question. He's a 3 or 4. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, how many can you get by with? Because, I would say the Seahawks have
3.
1, 2, and a 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And listen, you can definitely play really well with that. If you're tied together, you guys know what you're doing, and you're well coached, and then your play caller does a great job of calling plays to mitigate potential disasters and allow you to be the aggressor. One of the things I always talk to teams about when I'm, consulting or doing whatever is trying to take the passive out of pass protection. And that's, play caller's responsibility to give guys the tools to be aggressive in pass pro. And a lot of it is you think about the way the game is played today with a bunch of 3-step drops and then the bubble screens and all the stuff that goes on in today's game. There's really maybe 12 to 15 times when you really have to protect, when you really have to drop back and protect, without a lot of help. And so it's just your job to be able to allow your offensive line in those 12 plays or whatever to be aggressive and to be able to change some sets up and to be able to do some of those things. So as long as you've got a couple of guys they can hold up in one-on-one, and then you can hide other guys and you can slide protections and help get double teams and do all that stuff, you're gonna be fine. And so like I don't think about it that way. I think about it, how well do we play together, not so much as, hey, do they have a bunch of individuals. That's a game within a game, and for any one individual to be good up front, all 5 have to be good together. That's more important than having superstars is your ability to play together.
See, offensive linemen always stick together.
Yeah.
Always stick together.
Well, and does that also, in your opinion, and I'm assuming it does, fall onto the play caller? Because you've talked about that before, saying something along the lines of like, don't be mad at me.
That. Were you not listening? Were you looking at the internet, Bob? We just talked about this.
But I mean, I just remember your line of don't be mad at me. You're the dumbass that called that play. You know I can't do that. I can't do this. So
right. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with like when you have to drop back and throw it 44 times. I don't care how good your guys are. The guys on defense are just so gifted. And then with all the blitz and and all the fast people, there's just too many fast people out there on the field. That just gives me the shivers. So they get very qualified blitzers off the edge and DBs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it really comes down to how well you call plays, and then a lot of it too is your quarterback. Like, take the profit, put us in 2nd down and 5. Like that is a essential piece to the puzzle of protection and being good up front. So all those things are tied together. Like a great offensive line to me has a quarterback that understands the value of that. Like the greatest coaches, the greatest players understand other people's problems. And so a great offensive coach understands the problems that the front 5 guys have. And so you have to call play accordingly to those guys' issues, because they're the ones, in my opinion, that have the toughest job.
Hey, Mark, get to the hard-hitting questions here for broadcasters. What's the crappiest stadium that you've broadcast from, and what's the best? Because tonight they're showing Vegas, and I went there a few years ago. It was pretty good, and then I was recently in Washington, which was awful. But yeah, as far as facilities, you like some of these new places, and
the Raiders have got it's a great facility. It's got a big booth. Me, I'm always like, which broadcast booth has its own toilet? Because I've told you guys, I'm the Jason Bourne of pooping, and I am the most regular person on the planet.
Geez.
So I like
good to know, Mark.
I get up extra early just so I can have my multiple morning constitutions. But I get to the stadium, something about the stadium, drinking coffee, it just gets my engine revving. And then all of a sudden I'm like, then you got to trog down to the public bathroom where everybody else has to go. Like, I like to have my own, area.
So yeah. Well, I gotta say, I do rate stadium based on how close the bathroom is, and then like in Seattle, they got the one banger out there. I mean, come on, you got
one person bathroom. Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's never good. Although I am a social pooper, so I will go poop anywhere. I just doesn't bother me.
Oh, that's good to know too. What about food? Yeah. Does a food factor weigh in a little bit?
On Sundays, I don't really eat. Like, I don't go to the thing and
sounds
have a
like you're eating something.
Right. No. At the stadium, I don't. Like, so as long as I have maybe an apple and some more, like, tangerines or something, like, I'm more snacker. Have a banana before the game. That's kind of, I don't really eat a lot during a broadcast.
That's probably an act of mercy to those around you too.
Yes.
Sounds like.
Well, the other thing, I just know my system, so I can't be in the middle of the 4th quarter, an important drive, and like, I've got that. I told you I have a 7-minute window before I, crap my pants. So I can't have that. I can't have. There's just, as soon as it hits, okay, I got 7-minute countdown. Like, and there's not a lot of time to just run to the bathroom. So you've got to monitor yourself very carefully.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Hey, you guys thought I was bad.
I know.
He's going into great detail.
Yeah, and doing it gleefully, I should add. Let me bring it back quickly before we let you go. I just want to get your take. Justin Fields is going to get benched. Tyrod Taylor gets a start. Is he a kid you look at and say, man, if he were in the right, because he's with the Jets, and we've just talked about how the Jets have been, and it wasn't great with the Bears. I'm not trying to make that case, but is he somebody you look at that could be that next Darnold, that next Baker Mayfield, that next Mac Jones, who looks like they get a better opportunity, they get in a better situation, they can shine, Or do you look at him
Yeah.
and just say, nah, he's probably just not going to be the guy anywhere, really?
I would say no. And I think he's an exceptional athlete, but there's so much more to it than that. Those guys, Baker and Sam, just had to learn a progression offense. And and that's not been Justin Fields' deal. I think one of the issues that you get into at the quarterback position is when your whole life, when you haven't been a traditional quarterback, but you've been this unbelievable athlete that they made into a quarterback, and you haven't necessarily been traditionally trained in that through progressions and everything else, and your default mechanism is when things break down, I'm just going to take off and make plays with my feet as opposed to making plays from the neck up. Um, it's hard to break those habits. And I've had these conversations with Michael Vick and some other guys that they were always so gifted. And when you're that gifted, it's hard to rely on anything but your gift.
Agreed.
And that's your athleticism. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to break that trend. Like, hey, things break down, man. Let me take off. Let me go make something crazy happen because I'm that athletically gifted. And I just don't know that you ever get to the point where you're like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna make a decision from here up, and either throw it away, find myself a check down, whatever. It, I just think it's almost a blessing and a curse to be that gifted athletically.
That's what I'd said about Kyler Murray. The same thing.
Yeah.
I think he falls in that category. So
That's what I've said about myself. It's just a curse
right?
and a blessing to be that athletically gifted.
So
just
many
is
gifts.
amazing.
So many
Yeah.
gifts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes.
that's right.
Mark, as always, we appreciate you, my friend. Great stuff. Have a great rest of your week. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Sounds good, boys.
Thanks, buddy.